every day, amazing, dedicated teams become burnt out, leading to increased sick time, injury, and employee turnover. So what can you do as a leader to grab control of this situation, get a hold of that steering wheel, and avoid hitting the ditch? Today, we're going to go through 7 different things that you're able to do as their leader and manager in order to bring employee work life back into balance.
I'm Jeanette Bergeau,
And I'm Crystal Brown.
and we're a mother-daughter mediation team. Our Korero Solutions channel is dedicated to helping you become the leader both you and your organization aspire you to be.
For the latest tips, tools, and advice, hit that notification bell if you're new. Let's get started. As we go through these 7 different ways, you need to ensure that as a leader, your actions mirror your words. So if you're going to tell somebody that you're going to employ one of these methods, don't then all of a sudden turn around and when they come and ask you for them, say, oh, sorry, I didn't actually mean that, because it's not a convenient time. So as we go through these, make sure to think what is realistic and what is not realistic for you, your team, and your organization.
The first way we'll look at is ensuring that you schedule weekly and bi-weekly meetings with your employees. The reason we say this is important is to ensure that we're checking in with the staff. Even if it's not your peak period of the year, even if there's not a deadline coming due or a big project that's happening, still the day-to-day tasks may be impacted if that employee is experiencing something in their personal life that's inhibiting them from working at their full potential. Just check in with them to see how things are going. Are they able to keep up? Are they meeting the demands and the deadlines that are put on their desk? And then be there to listen, to hear what they have to say.
And make sure that these meetings are at a convenient time for them and that they're not cutting into a lot of time just in order to sit around and have a chat. So make sure that you go in with an agenda. They know what they're coming there to discuss so that they can be prepared for those meetings and have everything that they need to make the most of both your and their time. Our second way in order to ensure that work-life balance is really monitor the workflow and the demands that you're asking your employees to live up to. Within this, during different times, seasons, stages, people are able to accomplish very different levels of output. So checking in with them and seeing, hey, this project wasn't quite done to my expectation. What happened around that, to see if you need to tailor your expectation or if they're just so overflowed right now with all the demands that are being placed on them that it's just about getting stuff off of their desk. So check in and see where are those demands and are those expectations realistic or unrealistic for them.
The third way is to ensure that when you're implementing changes, that you take in a few factors into consideration. So the first factor is how many changes has your staff had to deal with in the last month, 6 months, year? Has there been constant changes? Were they big or small changes? And how did your staff respond to those changes that have come their way? Also looking at staff shortages, vacation leave. If they're starting to become more sick time, take a look and ensure that you've got the resources, that your staff is mentally and work-wise ready to go into that next stage of implementation of another change.
Our fourth way in order to prevent that employee burnout is by allowing people to take vacation. And not just based on your clock, but also based on what works best for them. This is going to give a couple of benefits. The first being when that employee returns, they're going to feel far more energized. The second, while that employee is away, it gives the other people on the team the opportunity to step up, learn some new skills, and take on some tasks that they might not be comfortable with. Thus allowing them to grow in their competence, and then they are able to fill in for that other person, or when times do get challenging, they're now going to have that skill set.
The fifth way we'd like to look at today is ensuring that you have the ability to work with the staff on the flexibility within their work schedule. So when an employee is starting to look like they're taking more time off, or they're constantly late in the morning, they have to rush out early in the afternoon, and you sit down and you have that conversation with them and just say, hey Joe, I just noticed that every morning you're coming in a bit late. Is there something going on that, I can help you with, or, that we can work on together? And they say, put the kids in a new daycare. Traffic is just crazy going in that direction in the morning. I try my best. I'm stressed out by the time I get here. I'm really trying to be here right at 8:30. But it seems like I just cannot seem to get in until 8:45. Okay, what can you do with that employee to shift their schedule a bit so they're not so stressed out by the time they walk in the door? And then you can also ask them, do you want to let the other staff on our team know, or do you want me to let them know? Because you can be guaranteed the rest of the staff are going to start talking about why is Joe allowed to come in 15 minutes late every day. Just to let them know, Joe's schedule has been shifted. You don't need to tell them the whys. So looking at how do you ensure what's going on for your employees. Situations could be they've got a ride share to go home. If they could leave a half hour early or 45 minutes to accommodate the schedule of the other person offering them the ride. Can you work that into the daily schedule? Can you still meet the demands of the job and to have coverage in order to give that employee the work-life balance that this would really help? Take a look at it. Don't just say no. Take a look at, can you make it happen? If you could make it happen, how do you make it happen?
And give that up. If you have concerns about it, bring it to the employee and let them help you problem solve. Maybe they have some solutions that they can offer that you don't necessarily think of. So bring your concerns. Hey, I'm worried about this project. If I let you go 30 minutes early, I don't know if it's going to get done.
Yeah.
Okay, here's some of the solutions to ensure that that expectation is still met. Give them the opportunity to address your concerns. Our sixth way of getting that balance in check is making sure that if somebody does come in to request a day off, a personal day, an extended lunch,
2 hours,
that you are not making them feel guilty for this. They're coming to you instead of just calling in sick.
Yeah.
So make sure that you are working with them within that. If you don't, and you're always up against saying, sorry, no, you can't go to the doctor that day because it doesn't work for us. No, you can't go to your child's school and help out. No, we know it's your wife's birthday, but you're not allowed to go take her for lunch. What do you think that staff member is going to be doing the entire time that they should have been out at that event, but instead they're sitting at their desk trying to do their job? They're probably not going to be 100% in the game. By allowing them flexibility and just bringing up what your concerns are about giving them that time off, they can address it, and chances are they're going to actually work harder in order to ensure that their work is done so that they can take that time. We decided to throw in an extra bonus tip, so make sure to stick with us all the way to the end.
The seventh way we'd like to talk about today is to show compassion and empathy. So when you're walking around and you've heard a piece of gossip even, take a look at that employee and see, how could I help make their day just a little bit better? So whether that's an extended lunch, whether that's go home early, if you know that something's happened but you really don't want to pry, today's not the day, you see they're upset, you don't want to have that discussion, but you go by their desk and you say, I know something's going on today. Yeah, I see that you're just not yourself. Why don't you take an extra hour for lunch? Go for the walks. I know you enjoy walking. It's a beautiful day outside. That will go so far with showing your employees that, number one, you noticed that they were having kind of an off day. And number two, that you were willing to give something to help them feel better. So show a little compassion or empathy. We don't need to know the reason why. It can just be random.
All right, guys, you stuck through it. Here is our bonus tip. When you tell people that they can have time off, give them the time off. This means you are not calling them.
No.
You are not sending them emails.
No.
You are not bugging them.
No.
Do not call them. If they are working while they're on vacation, that is not a vacation. Let them have their time off, and they're going to come back and they're going to be refreshed and they are going to work 10 times harder. So if you say they can take vacation, you have to leave them alone. Let us know what you do in your workplace and for your team to ensure that work-life balance. And if you can't think of anything, what has been done in the past in one of your workplaces to bring work-life balance or to detract from it? If you haven't already, hit that like, notification, and subscribe button. That way you can get our latest content.
Remember to do something today that'll change your tomorrow.
Until next time.